It was the kind of summer day where the pavement steamed under your feet, and the air clung to your skin like a thick sheet. In the heart of Bentonville, a small town in Arkansas, life went on as usual. Cars rolled through intersections, the buzz of lawnmowers filled the neighborhoods, and small businesses lined the main street with their open signs hanging crooked in dusty windows. On the corner of Maple and 6th, in front of an old pharmacy turned thrift shop, a man sat alone on the curb. His name was Cyrus Elwood. At 65, he looked worn out by life, skin weather-beaten, beard graying and overgrown, and his hands trembling slightly as he unwrapped a sandwich wrapped in brown paper. A small bottle of water and a slice of peach sat beside him on a napkin. He had spent his morning collecting soda cans from alleys and trash bins, just enough to get this simple lunch. Cyrus hadn't always been homeless. He once ran a small business fixing vintage furniture. But after a fire destroyed his shop and his wife passed away months later, he lost his home, his work, and eventually, his will to try. He lived quietly, never begged, never caused trouble. He took a bite, eyes closed in gratitude. Then, without warning, a sharp voice cut through the air. "Jesus, don't you people have anywhere else to go?" A man in an expensive golf shirt and shiny loafers stormed past, looking disgusted. He gave Cyrus a glance of pure contempt, then with a swift kick, knocked the sandwich out of his hands. The food flew into the street, the peach splattered on the sidewalk. Cyrus froze. He didn't speak. He didn't even look up. He just sat there, defeated, as his only meal of the day soaked into the dirt. Across the road, in a dusty silver SUV at a red light, two children stared with wide eyes. Marin, age 10, and her brother Thatcher, 7, sat in the back seat. Their guardian and aunt, Delaney Brooks, was checking directions on her phone. "Did you see that?" Marin whispered, tapping her brother's arm. "That guy kicked his food." Thatcher gasped. "Why would he do that?" Before Delaney could stop them, the two had jumped out of the vehicle and dashed across the street. "Marin! Thatcher!" Delaney shouted, but it was too late, they were already beside the old man. "Sir. Are you okay?" Marin asked gently. Cyrus looked up slowly, surprised to see two children looking at him with concern instead of fear or judgment. "I'm fine, sweetheart," he said with a tired smile. "It's just food. I'll be all right." Thatcher opened his backpack and pulled out his lunchbox. "You can have mine. I didn't eat it yet." Marin handed over a wrapped sandwich, a juice pouch, and 2 small oatmeal cookies. "Please take this. We want you to eat." Cyrus held the food like it was something sacred. "You kids, you didn't have to do that." Delaney finally reached them, catching her breath. She knelt beside them and looked into Cyrus's eyes. "I saw what happened. I'm so sorry. Some people just don't see the damage they cause." Cyrus chuckled dryly. "I've been invisible a long time, ma'am. That's just how it is." "Not today," Delaney said. "Come with us. You can shower, eat something warm. No pressure. Just kindness." He hesitated. "I don't want to bring any trouble." "You're not trouble," she said softly. "You're someone who deserves dignity." That evening, in Delaney's modest 2-bedroom home near the edge of town, Cyrus took his first warm shower in months. She gave him clothes that had belonged to her late father. Her guest room was small, but clean, with fresh sheets and a fan in the window. At dinner, Cyrus joined them for roast chicken, mashed potatoes, and green beans. Thatcher asked him if he was a cowboy. Marin wanted to know what kind of wood he used when he built furniture. Cyrus smiled through tears. "Mahogany and oak. But the best piece I ever built. A crib for my daughter, back when she was born." They talked for hours. He laughed more than he had in years. The next morning, Delaney made a phone call to an old high school friend who ran a local antique shop. That afternoon, Cyrus sat in front of a broken rocking chair, tools in hand, and something came alive in him. His fingers, though stiff, remembered the craft. In under 2 hours, the chair looked brand new. "You still got it," the shop owner grinned. "You want part-time work? I've got enough broken furniture to keep you busy for a year." Cyrus accepted. He started coming by daily, fixing drawers, polishing desks, and even teaching a few teens in the neighborhood how to use tools properly. Delaney helped him apply for assistance programs and get his ID replaced. By the end of the month, he moved into a small room in a shared house and bought himself a used bike. But Cyrus didn't just stop at getting back on his feet. He started a weekend woodworking class at the town's community center. He called it Hands Worth Healing, where he taught veterans, recovering addicts, and troubled youth how to carve, craft, and repair wooden furniture. He believed that when you fix something broken, you fix a piece of yourself, too. Soon, people all over Bentonville were talking about the quiet old man who taught boys how to build benches and girls how to sand and stain. News spread. The local paper ran a piece titled, "From the Sidewalk to the Workshop, Cyrus Elwood's Redemption Through Wood." A few months later, Marin's elementary school invited Cyrus to speak for their Kindness Week. He stood in front of a gym packed with kids, parents, and teachers, dressed in a tucked-in flannel shirt and worn jeans. "I was sitting on a sidewalk with a sandwich in my hands when someone decided I didn't deserve to eat," he said. "But 2 kids saw me. And they gave me more than food. They gave me back my humanity." He turned to Marin and Thatcher in the front row, smiling. Sometimes, it's not the grand gestures that save a life. It's a juice pouch. A sandwich. A moment of care. Don't ever think you're too small to change the world. The crowd erupted in applause. Even the janitor wiped his eyes behind the bleachers. That night, back at Delaney's home, they all sat on the porch as cicadas hummed and stars began to blink above the pine trees. Thatcher, curled up on Cyrus's lap, asked, "Do you miss your old life?" Cyrus ran a hand over the boy's head. "I miss my wife. I miss my shop. But if losing all that is what brought me to you all, maybe it wasn't a loss after all." Marin looked up from her drawing and asked, "Do you think you'll build again?" "I already am," he smiled. "Not just furniture. But lives. Starting with mine." And so, what began with a cruel kick and a ruined lunch turned into something more: hope, purpose, and a town reminded that kindness still mattered. Because sometimes, a child's compassion can be more powerful than 100 adults looking away. And in the town of Bentonville, the name Cyrus Elwood would never be invisible again.